1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're welcome to. So I will buy a round of drinks, including soft drink beverages for the beginning, and that's what I can commit to, thanks to my last client. Okay. So, and we're back. So this is the Open Innovation Network. This is how it is that we propose to share ideas so that they're findable again, and that we can hack in the open. They're discoverable, and that communities can come together over time. And even when project teams fall away, the projects will still be there, easy to fork, easy to find, and easy to resource across cities and schools, laws, schools, and others. So thanks to Gabby, who's been a great collaborator. Here's how we have put it together. So Gabby, what do we do?
Okay, so I'll walk you guys through like just the README, and then as you have questions, I think Deza will be like around, and I'll just go through it, and afterwards we can go in more detail.
This one right here, so you can flip through.
Okay.
Okay.
So basically the idea is just to have this project here that is very easy to fork for a gallery. And the way it looks, it's like this. It doesn't look very sophisticated right now, but hey, it's open software, so you all can like collaborate and help like make this better afterwards, but it's just very simple, and it's a project gallery. Here in the header you have like the Open Innovation Network, which should be like the main one where you forked from, and then here you can like change your project name and put some pages on and all that. And here in the projects gallery, our projects depending on the group that you're in. So for example, right now, Just Paid is an example of Julia's project. And then what you can do with it is you can also use it separately from our Innovation Network. So it can be very powerful depending on where you apply this. And it should be very easy to understand and fork.
Just one more sentence. Like, so what this does, tell them what this does is it takes data from here and it shows it there and why. That's the main hack that took us forever.
Okay, yeah, so basically I'm going to show more or less the structure, and then the structure of the code, and then afterwards the instructions so that you can manipulate it and use it. So basically this is a static site. This is hosted with GitHub pages. So all you need is your GitHub account, and you don't need anything else. You don't need a server. You don't need backend. You don't need a lot of people messing with your code. You just fork it from there, and then you already have an address like this that I just showed, Open Innovation Network.github.io. You can have an address like that with your username. So this is a static website, which means that you don't have any backend code running. It's just front end. So every person that uses this link is going to have a code running on their browser and not in your server or GitHub server. So here you have an HTML. Well, the good thing about it is that it's only like HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, so it's easy to pick up even if you're not a technical person. Here there's an index, which is the code that we use to see the Open Innovation Network .github.io and projects. So wait a second, projects, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll just click the link, sorry. Yeah, so this thing that you're seeing here, it's all in this index page, and then here all the code that pulls the data from it is in JS, and the data that it's getting all this from is this projects folder. So this is a file with basically somebody's project data. It's some you can see here, it's very easy to understand. It's called JSON, this type of file, and you can...
Just a quick interruption. So now let's tell them, what action do they have to take?
Okay.
So now the next the form, you click, and they fill out the form, they update their projects, and they do a pull request, I think. Right?
Yes, yes, perfect. So you don't need to mess up with this code directly. So we made a form for that to make it easier. That's why partly you have to run this in your own repository and then make a pull request.
Let's do that now. We'll show people where the form is, how to get a key, with the key in the form, update the projects.
Okay. Do you have GitHub in this machine? Do you have? Yeah. Okay. So basically, what you can do here is fork this repository in your GitHub account. So when you click here, well, I'll just show GitHub.
It's forked everywhere. That's not a bad start. So we almost don't even need to. We maybe because of the time and the hungry and food. Let's
Very
what
fast.
you were doing before. Now that everyone's forked it,
Okay.
have to hold everyone's hand through the entire config and setup. We'll just show them what you're going to do, and we'll stick with each of you to do that, so that by the end of this IAP course, everyone's projects were repos forked from a same original, and we'll much more easily be able to advance and innovate together and kind of float everyone's boat.
Right. So basically, I'll just show here that once you access that, then you just click fork, and then you decide where you can fork it, and then, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Daza G, for example, and wow, so many repos. And it's done. So this is your this is Daza's own copy of this, and then whatever he does here will not reflect the other repository. And it's here. You have to clone this repository here. So you have to take a look. It's Daza G and projects. Clone it in your local machine, and then follow all these instructions. Oh yeah, so here, and okay, so basically you can follow all the instructions in the README file. No. Okay, cool. And if you have any suggestions on the README or doubts, just contact us. Yeah, pull request. And then here you can set up your project gallery. You can just access it, how to figure out how to access it. It's all here. And you modify the gallery to pull the data from this repository that you just forked instead of the original one. And then what you can do is generate a GitHub personal access token. I'll just do like very quickly. You go to your settings here. So you click on your in your little picture here and click in settings, and then it's going to show here personal access tokens, and then you can generate a new one here. And well, I'll just confirm password. You just create a personal access token. It's all there in the README, so don't worry about like following it right now. So you just put here, for example, projects, open gallery, some kind of instruction, generate it, and then follow the rest of the instructions. Then you should run the project registration form in your local computer because it uses a personal access token, and you shouldn't be sharing that information there. And GitHub actually tells you, like, they block if you try to put it in this GitHub repository, like in the remote one. So don't even bother trying. Yeah. Yeah, so Daza just said, like, don't even try because they're going to block it and you're going to have to do it again. So, okay, perfect. So what you have to do is open the project registration.html file, and in that file there is a variable called access token. You just put your access token in there, and then you also change the name of your repository user and your repository name so that it goes to your repository that you just forked instead of the original one. And then you will see a beautiful form, or at least a form that doesn't suck. And you just put your data there. I'm sorry, I don't know if I could say that word here. Okay. So here you can just submit it, and what it's going to do is just to create automatically here a file with the data that you put there, so that you don't have to mess with this code if you don't want to. If you want to, you can also. And then what you're going to do is after that, you check your gallery. It's going to be there, but it's not going to appear when you look in Open Innovation Network github.io/projects, because you haven't asked us so with a pull request.
Can you bring up the form, put a date into the form, hit submit, and then let's show them how it shows up in everyone's gallery.
Do you have a copy of the form here?
I'll get the
on your
copy
computer?
of the form. Yeah.
Okay. So he's going to open the form.
This is the magic. And this comes partly from something Jonathan Askin and I have been trying to do with a bunch of law schools and cities and other people as well. So, this one, right?
Yeah, this is it. Okay.
So
I don't know how to show it there.
Okay, so I'll just get into the Hangout so you can see this. This is like the magic, I guess I would say. Go here, Hangout. Right. So this one, Open Network. Yep. Okay, I'm just going to show people right here like this. So can you guys see this?
And then the people on the Hangouts.
It disappeared.
Oh, did it?
Oh.
Can you see it now? Okay, so can you just, are you fast? Can you type? You're super fast.
Yeah.
Just type some data. So basically, we're just so everybody here in this room, and soon hundreds of people in maybe Kansas City, Missouri, want to go out there early February for an IEEE event on cities, and then soon maybe thousands of people, very quickly soon. With our Code for America friends, Legal Hackers friends, and other labs and other places. All the technical people can get down to bare metal and activate pull requests and can hack the code. Many business people and others that can describe projects can't do that. So this form is basically backends to JavaScript. Actually, I will take your typing. So this form backends to JavaScript, and it and the JavaScript will basically exercises a REST call. Could you swivel that this way? Exercises a REST call and basically puts the data through a GitHub API with a token to update a file called like projects.js or whatever we called it. So it just inserts as JSON objects into our JSON data, just flat file for now. And then did you submit? Oh, I'm sorry. So we hit send to GitHub. It says thank you very much. And did you just see that? I don't know if you saw, but like so now we go to the gallery, and sure enough, like anyone at any distribution point can submit this form and can either update our gallery directly if we're doing that thing, or if they have a forked version and we're federating projects, they can update their GitHub repository version and do a pull request to share their projects, from time to time, and share other innovations. So basically, we can federate this. It did it not? That's fine. So, but it totally works. You can trust it. Like when we saw at the book hackathon on Saturday when we demoed the funny suit, they hit the button, nothing happened. They said, it works, trust us. And people were like, woo! And like, it was a great project, and it does work. So this is just the part where that doesn't work right this second. So does that make sense to everybody? I guess one question is, does that make sense? And then the other question is, does anyone know of any better way to have cities that are hacking, and law schools and like media lab type places and Code for Americas and community groups. When they're hacking on projects, they want them to be seen again. Does this seem like a flow that makes sense? Like somebody in your group, a technical person, would fork a repo, would make a form available to people, and would keep projects up to date with stuff like the name of the project. Well, you have the gallery here, I think, right? Don't we have it right here? Like where? So this is what it looks like. Um, can you see? Wait, can you do it? So what it looks like is material design, just basic HTML, and I'm sorry, do you have the whole gallery? Like, so basically, every time new JSON objects are added from anywhere, so this file is pulling these JSON objects from lots of different places. So it's like a core's nightmare, and it's a security. It's very troubling and very concerning to a lot of people. That's partly why we have everything in open source, everything in Creative Commons. We've got like reasonable. I think it's not like a secure way that you would share like highly confidential or high value or mission critical data. I think that this is not bad. So it's like a low bar, but there are access tokens. And can you scroll down a little bit? So these are all the projects just from the hackathon on Saturday, where they were very nice and open, and they're like, yeah, well, like we simulcast for them, and they let us put all the projects in our gallery. So we seeded it with like 20 or 30. It's just like, and so these are all JSON objects, and then the stuff from this class is coming from a different repo, and yet a different repo, and we can kind of pull from external JSON files and display it through a REST call in this HTML on a gallery. So that's kind of what we're doing. And what we imagine is our next step is we're using, I forgot what it's called, Isotope, or we're using a thing that to sort, filter, search. So show me all the projects that are blockchain. Show me all the ones that are Bitcoin. Show me the things that are Bitcoin and legal. So we do some sort, filter, search, which is a natural for displaying JSON objects on a page. We're still messing around with that, but we got it working Saturday night. And so, that's the next step. And then some of these things maybe Jonathan will head up the legal hacking one. So maybe the authoritative source of legal hacking projects could be at a repo that like your guys run, and maybe MIT ones will be others. But we can pull them from multiple sources in a distributed way. So anyway, we happen to think that's fancy. It's not sharding homographically encrypted, atomic DNA bits across the universe. But look, it works. You see. So a question for all: do people understand what we were saying? So yeah, basically, yeah, and we can go through it, but we're going to ask people, like, by the time we're done with January, the people whose projects we like to work with, to make sure that we kind of noodle with you on this fork. We'll iron out the kinks. It does work well, exactly as Gabby said, and as Gabby wrote in the README file, and we'd like to give it a go. And then February 7th, 8th, I'm going to go to Kansas City, Missouri, to a huge IEEE event, and we'll have a lot more projects that we can add to it, and then we'll start layering on more. So please help us make it work well and make it look good, make it usable, so that you can find all the blockchain projects everywhere, and quickly jump on them. Okay, so are we, is that good, Gabby? Did we miss anything?
Yeah. So I would just like to say, I don't know, for the technical people that might help us like do this in like an easier way. So all those like wonder lists, I think they're called, like on GitHub, that like it's awesome lists. So you do awesome lists, and then people like put all their links about like certain projects or technologies or stuff. Like they just make links, and then they like, you can fork it, you can share it, you can do all that, and it's very easy, very fast to do. So that's kind of what we want to do, but for people that are non-technical, to have input and data through like a nice form, not having to deal with coding much, and just having a simple exhibition like this without having to deploy Heroku or any other servers out there. So that's kind of the things that we wanted to for this project. So if you have more suggestions, we're completely open, and the code is out there. So.
And the junior, who's really techie, I said, "Isn't that good? No Heroku, no AWS." She says, "Yeah, it's pretty good." So, okay, thanks. So now the question is, okay, how do I actually make this work for real? So like we've got a lot of Band-Aids and duct tape up in here. Anyone that can look at it when you fork, I think, did you fork it? Great. So take a look and help us, please. With that, thank you, Gabby, for just jumping in as a volunteer and helping put this together and solving a lot of problems that I know I hadn't been able to solve, and others as well. So appreciate it. And with that, let us adjourn this special after-hour session of hacking the Open Innovation Network today. And we'll see you guys all online. Ciao.